Hello, I'm Elgato and welcome back to the Minecraft Update Aquatic video. Today I want to talk about tridents in this update again because they are one of the most intriguing items. They're one of the first things that everyone goes for, and one of the best things about the trident is one of the rarer enchantments you can get for it. It is the Riptide enchantment. So Riptide is cool for a billion reasons that you can probably experiment with and find out by yourself. Like, wow, when you go into water and then you throw it, it's really great. You can just move yourself in pretty much any direction through the water. It also has a great animation when you do so, and basically trident is a really great thing that allows you to basically fly around in Minecraft. Well, what if I said that you can use this flying ability, this ability to push yourself in any direction to make some really cool contraptions? Well, that's what I'm going to be teaching you in today's video, because you only require one block of water to actually push yourself in any direction in Minecraft, which means if you want to make a Minecraft elevator, you can actually make the most efficient, the fastest, and the easiest to make one by using this Riptide free enchantment, and let me give you a guide on how to do that in today's video. Hopefully you'll do enjoy it, like if you do like it, because it helps out the channel, and let's know you do like these updated aquatic tutorials, and you want them to keep on continuing. So let's get straight into exactly how this one works, shall we? I guess the easiest way is just give you a straight up demonstration. We have one block of water down here, and then exactly 40 blocks parallel above us, we have a water block up there, which means that if we can magically fly ourselves through the air, we can go from one straight up to the other, and then we're instantly up here. As you can see, I've gone up 40 blocks in a matter of just seconds, and it's great, or less than a second it actually took, and then an extra second to get out there. It's a really, really fast elevator, and because this can be stacked on top of itself, and because it goes 40 blocks at a time, at least on Bedrock, that means you can actually, in 6, like individual jumps, you can go from the bottom of the world all the way to world height pretty much in less than 6 seconds. It's crazy how fast this is, and it really will revolutionize the elevator game. But let me just first of all explain a few key things you're going to want to know about this. First of all, if you are on any other platform besides the Minecraft Bedrock, the power of Riptide Free is seemingly dependent on that. So for instance, right now, Minecraft Java Edition, the Riptide enchantment gives you about 30 blocks of airtime, whereas on Bedrock, as you can see, we're going 40 blocks instead, or 42 blocks to be precise. But still, you get more Riptide power when you're playing on when you're playing on Bedrock versus Java. It will probably be different on console as well, and it also seems to be different based on our little testing, based on multiplayer versus non-multiplayer. Don't ask me how that seems to be the case, but when Jura was here, because Jura helped me to build this, he's a frequent chat from the stream, we seem to have different jump heights, which is a really, really odd thing, but it is something that seems to happen with this update, so just keep that in mind. Also speed and jump boost, and just there's lots of mini factors that will affect this, so make sure you do your own testing on this. And the second thing is, if you ever do see one of these in anyone else's world, I want to give you the key tutorial right now. You need to go right forwards, as far forwards as you can, and you need to look directly upwards, as far upwards as you can. If you don't do this, bad things will happen, because the one downside to the Trident enchantment, the Riptide free enchantment, is that if you, it doesn't negate full damage. If you fall because of the Riptide enchantment, it won't save you. So to give you a good example of what can go horribly wrong, because personally, I don't like being told what to do if I don't have a good reason as to why, so let me do this entirely wrong. We're going to stand in the middle of this, and then we're just going to go mostly up. We're going to point right at that, and then we're going to try and throw our thing and see what happens, and oh, we hit the head on that, and oh, what's going to happen? Oh, we died. So yeah, that's why you don't want to do it. There's the deadly death, which everyone wants to avoid, and let's hop into creative now, and let's show you how to actually build it. Okay, so now we're in creative, and we've learned our lesson on how to use this thing, we've learned our lesson on how it works, and the fact that you got to measure it, so let's work out exactly how you build it. And like I said, it's one of the easiest things to build, which is what I really love about any Minecraft thing. Whenever it's like, oh yeah, there's like 7 stages of redstone, and there's some redstone, like copper magic, and then it goes into the cauldrons, and then that never ends up working, because you have to place them in specific orders, and like redstone changes over updates. I like this one, because this will always work as long as the Riptide enchantment does work, because all you're doing is you're just making a place where you can have 2 water blocks directly above each other. So yeah, all you need to do to make this work is, again, first of all, measure the distance that your Riptide free can go, which I guess is most easily done by just making one single block of water on the ground. So here you can see I've got one block of water. In the most simplest form, it's literally just a block with signs around it. You can place whatever you want around your block, but again, you just need to make sure it's enclosed. So for now, we're going to use these upward stairs just so we can get the same example, because I know some people like this pyramid effect. So we're going to do the exact same thing just over here. Place 3, oh, okay. Assuming the floor doesn't come out below you, you place 3 blocks just like this so that your water can be enclosed. Again, this is a really simplistic version, and then you want to have some water in there, and now, okay, not right there, you want to have some water over, my bad, you want to have some water in the middle of the thing, not on the stairs themselves, and then as you can see, it's going to be contained. So now what you want to do is you want to, fly yourself into the air. If you have coordinates, you can check roughly where it's going to be, or what you can just do is you can build up right next to it, and you can test yourself. So then what you want to do is you want to go right into the sky, make yourself a bunch of, just place sand. Again, in survival, you can place it like so. In creative, we can just fly ourselves up to the sky, and you want to go, again, 40 blocks in, Minecraft Bedrock. It's 30 in Minecraft Java, and in Minecraft console, it'll be slightly different, I imagine, because everything seems to change a bit. And then exactly 40 blocks in, like Bedrock, and 30 in Java. Just do your testing on this one, but again, start with 30 and then build upwards. Then you want to place just a little bit of water right here, and then make sure it's properly surrounded so that it won't fall down. So we'll have a block be down there, and then we'll have some water. I think the water will flow through the staircase because it's a staircase. So we need to get like a solid block of some form. Let's use a bookcase because I like nice ugly builds right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to just place the bookcase there, and then have a bookcase on all sides, basically. And then as you can see, now we've got like a proper enclosure for our water, and you want to have like a sign underneath it and not a bookcase so that you can fall through it, because otherwise you're going to hit the bookcase and it's going to hurt. And then you place your sign just like here, and then magic stuff happens. Actually, wait, before we place that, we're going to replace these things with bookcases as well. So we can place those there, place our sign just there, and then have water be above it. The water can't flow through the sign as long as you place the sign first, then the water. If you place the water, then the sign, the water can flow through it. But if you do it this way, as you can see, now we've got a single floating water block inside a thing. We've got a platform to land on, and just like that, we've got a 40 block gap between this first bit of water and the stuff up there. So yeah, if we now throw ourselves upwards, as you can see, we land in the water and we've made our elevator. It really is that. Okay, wait. As you can see, if you only do one block, it's a little bit trickier to actually land in there. But it's as simple as that to actually get the thing working. But again, if you want to get this going more effectively, or you want to have multiple ones, then you might want to, instead of having just a single block, is you might want to have 2 blocks instead. The reason you want to do this is because it gives you more floating room. In fact, the more water you have, the more floating room you have, the better things are going to be. So again, let's just try the exact same thing. But instead of that, we're going to have a little, like a couple signs just over here, a couple signs over here, and then a couple signs over here to give us 3 full blocks of water, because that gives us 2 options. That means we can hop out onto the sign, the old follow IBX Toycat sign, onto our, like, whatever we have up here, or we could go up even higher to the next bit, which again, you could just duplicate this for that. So now what we can do is we can remove this bit of water, or we don't actually need to remove that bit of water, but we can if we want to, and then we have a horribly placed sign there, place a bit of water. As you can see, we've got 3 bits of water, and that means we can now, train ourselves up just like this into 3 bits of water, float ourselves in there if we really want to. As you can see, like I'm standing up here, or I'm floating in the middle, and then we can train ourselves up to the next jump point, which will be 40 blocks in the sky again, which can then train ourselves up into the next one, so on and so forth, all the way to the top. So now the sand really isn't necessary, and in fact, let's get rid of it, and it's all going to die because its staircase is below it. And yeah, there is a easy way you can make yourself this thing in a really, really short amount of time. This literally took me minutes in creative, and that was while teaching you about it and making a couple of mistakes along the way, like the stair thing and the bookcase thing. That was the most amateur, building off it anyone could do, but yet I still got it done in minutes. If you know what you're doing, you can build this thing in seconds if you really have to, and that's the great thing about it. In survival or creative, this is a really, really fast build to make, and because of the fact that it can be repeated, as many times as you like, okay, let's do the exact same thing, go right up to the edge, go right to the very top here, and then train ourselves up. Then you can see how, like, oh, now we're at 147 blocks, so on and so forth. And also getting down works the exact same way, because guess what? We can just train ourselves down, and then we can power ourselves right towards the ground. It's wonderful, and it's a cool thing you can do as of this update. So yeah, here's my favorite thing you can make in this update. It is a Trident elevator. It's really short, really simple, and you'll probably be seeing them in New World because it is currently the most effective elevator you can make. So next up, let's talk about some of the other ways you can use this, because it's not just a vertical elevator. I mean, in real life, most elevators are vertical, but not all of them, and it's the same with Riptide elevators, because if you set up some, again, some fairly clever, looking things like this, you can actually set up the same thing, but in survival. So again, it's tricky to actually properly, do this, because you need to make it consistently placed. But if you just place single blocks of water, then as you can see right here, you can power yourself from one to the other, all the way across land. And because rain, Riptide works during rain, even over land, but if you want it to work in a desert biome where there is no rain, or you want it to work all the time, which is useful, because having things that only work during one weather condition, that everyone, by the way, hates, is pretty useless, then yeah, all you have to do is set up some of these on the ground, have the water be as wide or as short as you like, and you can make little hopping ponds to jump between. And because this, the going upwards, there's technically some risk if, like, someone messes something up, or like you mess something up and you'll lose all your stuff. That's not great. But because these ones, again, they're vertical, they're horizontal, the risk of you dying is literally none. You have to really mess up your elevator flow, because even if I flow at 45 degrees, which you really shouldn't be, the amount of damage I'll take is going to be relatively low. And let me show you that actually. Because here you can see I'm firing it and I'm going right into the sky. Even though I did it pretty badly, I'm still only taking half the health bar, which isn't too bad. I can take another one of those in a few seconds. And yeah, basically, even if you mess this one up, it's pretty easy. And yeah, you can use this to go some serious distances if you really wanted to. I'm not going to recommend this because of the complexity involved in setting it up efficiently. But if you really, really wanted to, what you could even do is you could use diagonal. So you can see I've got one set up. So if I want, again, this is something that I've had real problems like properly adjusting to, but if you like a challenge, try try and make a diagonal water elevator. As you can see, okay, I'm gonna die. As you can see, if you can set up correctly and you can time your throws correctly, that's gonna be the fastest way to travel not only a, you know, like a horizontal distance or not only a vertical distance, but traveling both at the same time. But again, bear in mind that in survival, it's very, very tricky. It's gonna require a lot of skill, and it's mostly gonna come down to like just have a big pool of water that covers the world. Because again, the fastest way is just to have a big, you know, pool of water. But the problem with that, or the easiest way is to have a big pool of water because you can fire yourself through it just like this. But the big problem with this is that the trident actually slows down when you're traveling through water. Here you can see the distance I go through water, which is, you know, kind of nice. But in the air, I go significantly higher because there's less resistance pushing against me. And the same kind of principles apply when we're trying to set up our thing. You want to travel through the air and not through water because, again, traveling like this is really kind of slow and boring. Traveling like, okay, let me show you the 45-degree angles again. Showing like traveling like this is much more fun and much more effective. So yeah, there's lots of ways you're going to be able to use this. The diagonal one is the one that gets me most excited. I've tried to set up a few, but again, it's mostly down to like you need to have big puddles of water or you need to have really precise timing. And again, neither one of those is really too ideal. But finally, let's talk about one more thing you can use. So this is like, you know, kind of like, if this is the elevator of this is kind of like those tiny steps you see that like you can use in some places when you have to go down 2 stairs, but they need like a disabled lift. Here's the equivalent thing you can do where you can throw the trident at a block when you're staring at it, and if you're walking forwards at the same time, you can lift yourself up. So yeah, basically this is really mostly useful for like getting from swimming into sprinting. It's really tricky getting this thing to actually work out. So if you just throw a trident at the ground, then you'll land yourself instantly there. So again, I'm sure you can use that in some quick succession with some other stuff to cause some stuff. I don't know exactly, you know, how that's gonna tie into other stuff, but I really wanted to show you a interesting thing you can do in this update, which is instantly land yourself on land by using that. So anyway, those are, I guess that's 4 ways to use the trident. Vertical elevators, really amazing tutorial. Horizontal elevators, tricky, but you know, doable, especially if you just make a big vertical slab of water that you jump in and out of like this. And having diagonal elevators, I have not been able to get anything efficient working, but that's your challenge if you choose to take it. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Like if you liked it, because it helps out the channel. Let's know you do like the aquatic tutorials, share if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here, because I make videos like this one every single day on my channel, and if you subscribe, you'll see them daily on your homepage. I'm hilarious. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.